Hello? Awesome. So I wasn't planning to share this, but I think I need to get it off my chest before I can go any further with my speech. I've got a little phobia of public speaking, and it's really nice I can't tell that anybody's actually in this room right now. But I slept for 2 hours last night. I'm fueled on coffee right now. And the only dream I can remember is waking up crying that I have to do public speaking today, and my boyfriend telling me that I could get out of it for $50. But I guess I didn't have enough money on me. So we're going to rip the Band-Aid right off. So fashion is the second largest industrial user of water in the world. Through heavy use of pesticides, petrochemicals, and a market for cheap disposable goods, we are quite literally wearing clean water away. As a clothing designer, I'm concerned. I'm concerned not only for the amount of water we are going to need for generations to come, but because like most of us, I'm a little bit selfish. And I want to continue encouraging people to enjoy clothing and enjoy expressing themselves through the styles they choose, and to continue creating my art with textiles. So when I think about my next collection, I don't just think about fit or feel, but I like to think about how the garments I create affect the environment, and how the decisions I make as a business allow us to live better today and for the future. But I didn't always care. And what I mean by that is I didn't always know to care. When I was 12, I wanted to buy expensive guitars, but I was too young to get a real job. So with an initial investment of $200, I bought a button press and a silk screen, and I went into business for myself. I made merchandise for bands to buy in bulk from me and resell at their concerts for a profit. I called it Red Buttons. Through high school, I worked my fair share of office and retail jobs for both small and large businesses, alongside running my own business. So when I graduated, rather than work for someone else while I figure out what my next step was, I decided to take my tiny business full time. For the first few years, as I worked to garner a following, I took contract jobs for cash flow. And while working on one of these contract jobs, a rather large set of velvet curtains, I began to get rashes on my arms. Realizing I was becoming allergic to whatever they were putting in the fiber, I thought to myself, if this is what it can do to me in a small amount of time, what is wearing conventional fibers doing to us day in and day out? The more pressing to me at that moment was that I was soon going to be out of a job if I didn't find an alternative. So as I began to look for options, a new world of sustainable fibers started to emerge, a world of hemp, soy, seashell, tencel, organics, and more. Suddenly, I wasn't struggling for work. I couldn't keep up with the orders. As we expanded, opened our own retail, sold around the world, I saw no end for the possibilities of sustainability to change our lives. And then the Great Recession hit. Soon the stores we were selling to began to shut down or just stop paying their bills. And the customers we were selling to directly started really cutting back on their spending, and were often buying cheaper goods rather than less goods to come under their household budgets. We stopped replacing staff as they left, and my personal spending ceased to exist. Up until then, we had all but entirely switched of using sustainable fibers milled in China to sustainable fibers milled in Canada, bringing our production even closer to home. And although the price difference between the two was rather negligible, at one point our customers refused to pay. The factory we were using has since shut down, and our ability to find a replacement has so far been unsuccessful. So I realized there was a limit to sustainability. And although probably not as surprising to most of you as it was to me, it was the economy. This man-made infrastructure that has been built and rebuilt so many times before became imperative in the drive for sustainability. Now, I know a lot of people don't think the world is worth saving or that it can just take care of itself, but I believe it's within our own best interest that we consume within harmony of the planet, and believe it or not, it can feel great. But let's start with the facts. China has hit an 80% water wall. This means that 80% of their water is too polluted to use for industry, and that's not even talking agriculture. You'd be hard-pressed to make a great meal these days not buying a single vegetable grown in China. It takes around 1,800 gallons of water to grow enough cotton for one pair of pants. That's about 2 to 3 times the amount of water you would need to fill one rather large hot tub, and that's just for one pair of pants. It takes about the same amount of water to grow the average cotton t-shirt that you would need to drink over 3 years. And that same t-shirt contains, on average, approximately 150 grams of pesticides and other agricultural chemicals. Cotton is, after all, considered to be one of the thirstiest crops in the world, and it can't use polluted water. And I doubt there is a person here today who isn't wearing something comprised partially of cotton. Cotton accounts for 90% of all natural textiles made worldwide, and is found in over 40% of all garments produced. So you can understand that I think about cotton a lot. The average American throws away 68 pounds of clothing a year. We Canadians are no different. Furthermore, we all know the devastating effects that fashion has on populations around the world as buildings collapse and child labor is still employed to subsidize the push for cheap goods. And as for all the other fibers we wear, even the sustainable ones, they all have an impact in their own way. Mitigating these impacts can be the first step. And I know you've heard it before, but start with buying less, throwing away less, and recycling more. And follow your desire for finer things. You will begin to buy better fibers, like bamboo. Bamboo is so soft and durable, and it's known as a forever fabric because a good quality bamboo retains its shape over time. Bamboo is all naturally organic, as it has no need for pesticides to grow. Or consider tencel, which is often made from post-consumer wood pulp. Or hemp, which lasts forever. And as for growing it, they don't call it weed for nothing. So you won't find these kinds of fabrics at the dollar store because they take a certain amount of effort and cost to create. Try looking at your local boutiques or with local designers who aren't trying to save pennies to make profits for shareholders. And since we're following our more refined side, we wouldn't want the near slave labor conditions it takes to make those fabrics anyways. We are now going through a period of wage equalization as we send money from our economy to foreign economies, pushing up inflation and bringing wages along with it. And I hate to be a downer, but most of that wealth is going to the slender slice of wealthiest citizens as the rest of their population struggles into the middle class. So we can't keep on buying cheap goods from foreign populations forever. Eventually, we will be forced with the reality of producing essential goods for local populations like we used to. And I'm not against buying things from foreign places. I just don't believe that importing junk and leaving a trail of pollution has ever been good for anyone. Our local economy can be summed up by saying it's how many times the dollar moves around and around before it leaves town. So when you buy from local artisans, employ local labor, or support local businesses, those dollars are still in your community creating new value as they move to the next good or business. When you buy those cheap disposable goods, you devalue your job, whatever your job is. It's like a vote you make every day. And if you're buying those goods, your vote has been bought by misleading marketing telling you you are more attractive for doing so, when really you become less and less capable of choice as companies are consolidated and the marketplace is further homogenized. All you have to do is buy a trendy magazine or take a walk down the street to know there's constantly less options. So buying local keeps that money in your pocket, creates options, and pays the people who made it so they can continue buying from other local providers. Granted, they may charge a little more, but if they want to compete with their big business rivals, they have to make a better product. And you're the winner buying better. So buy local for the fit. Buy local for the feel, for the customer service, and for the connection. And if this talk is about luxury, there is no greater risk to our luxury and lifestyle than a future of pollution, food and water shortages, and lower wages. Ask yourself, how do you want your life to be crafted? What is your luxury? And be willing to bring less things into your life in exchange for things with meaning. When you buy from those companies that pollute or create things with no compassion, you reinforce that activity and you perpetuate it. I say breathe new life into the almighty dollar and reward yourself for good decisions and good money management by bringing only well-made things into your life. Take your time when looking for anything, not just clothing, but anything. Buy furniture with the intention of passing it on, or think about the resale value in an antique armoire. Or make your next meal out of farmer's market veggies rather than big store-bought veggies. A lot of flavor gets lost in the shipping, and I'm sure your dinner guests will notice. Buy one pair of boots for $600, handmade once every 6 years, rather than one pair of boots once a year from who knows where for $100 or $2. Do a little research. With the internet and access to information these days, there is no excuse not to. Share your findings on social media and invite your friends to join in. The best way to change our mentality of buying disposable goods is to set a good example. The disposable goods market has to be made socially unacceptable. Here's your chance to be a trendsetter, and you will enjoy your new luxury, and you will have more money saved in your wallet. And as for those of you who prefer to buy vintage, I'm sure this trend will inspire you too, since all of those things that fill thrift stores will be so much better than you ever remembered. Granted, there may be less options, but you won't need as many. Everything will last so much longer and be so much better. So take your time when you shop and look around until you find the perfect item. This will allow you to buy less things in the meantime and allow you to find better items in the long run. And when you find that perfect item, that perfect garment, buy it from your favorite local store. You may want to consider what it's made from, where it's from, or what the company who made it is doing to make your world a better place. But just by buying that well-made dream piece, you will be willing to care for it. You will make sure that it lasts. When you wash it, look for phosphate-free soaps or soap alternatives such as soap nuts as chemical-free options, or just hand wash and hang dry, all of which are better for your body, for your garments, and for the environment. Wear it and repair it. Don't let it fall out of style in the back of your closet, but truly wear it and show off your newfound luxury as you now love the little you buy so much more than the bulk you bought before. And remember, sustainability isn't just about a pair of hemp pants. It's about functioning, prosperous economies. It's about a more beautiful selection of objects in our world. It's about enough clean drinking water and food for everybody. And it's about the mandate to use our power as individuals pleasurably and wisely, as it is a great power we each have. And you will change the world. And we will move towards a more sustainable future. A future of communities thriving and employing people with a variety of backgrounds and talents. And for each of us, healthiness, happiness, and the luxury of self-expression. Thank you.